Ladies and gentlemen, one of the secrets of Iron Kaiser Gaming, which is not much of a secret, I don't shy away from it, but I am not the best Age of Empires 3 player in the world. Don't get me wrong, I love this game. I love playing Age of Empires 3. I love casting it. I love sharing the experiences of this amazing game with you guys. But I am not the best by a long shot. No, if you go and watch some Age of Empires 3 from Mr. V or Widgie or Lionheart, you watch some pro player gameplay from Shake 2020 or Julian K, and then you turn around and watch some Iron Kaiser Gaming gameplay, it's like night and day. You might be asking yourself, why does this guy make so many noob mistakes? And indeed, I am an average player. I may even be a noob. I might even be a low elo legend. I'll let you decide that. But I'm not ashamed of it. No, I'm quite proud of it. And one of the reasons why is because by being an average player, prone to make some mistakes every once in a blue moon, you might find yourself getting into some incredible situations, some crazy gameplay that you otherwise would not see. And in today's video, I have one such crazy game. Yours truly, in the blue, playing as Russia. This is me experimenting with the build that I showed in my last YouTube video. I'll go ahead and pull it up right here. Well, actually, once I have the deck, I'll pull it up. But I'm really experimenting with some of the new cards that Russia got out of the most recent patch, trying for kind of an eco-focused game. Meanwhile, my opponent, 7th Street in the red, playing as the Portuguese. And the Civ pick here is so incredibly important to the story that is going to unravel in this game. Not even so much for, you know, what the Portuguese actually bring to the table, as what immediately goes through my mind when I see the Portuguese. I see the Portuguese Civ pick, and I think, oh, well, you know, the Portuguese, I'm expecting some sort of, you know, fast Age 3 play. I'm expecting organ guns. I'm expecting a very eco-focused civilization pick here, as we see 300 wood coming in for 7th Street. So I make a mistake. Probably the very first mistake I make is not really looking at and analyzing my opponent's deck. If we take a look, out of the gate, I am assuming that he's got Feitorias, that, you know, again, it's all eco, and it's all about getting up to Age 3 as quickly as possible. We do see 700 coin in the deck, and in fact, looking at his deck, we see this incredible focus on a lot of eco techs, right? So this is a deck that if he's allowed to proceed without any kind of pressure, theoretically, his villagers could get insane. The late game for 7th Street could be wild. We don't see that unique Feitorias card in Age 1, so the town centers aren't working as mini factories in the way that they can. But a really interesting deck. But, you know, throughout the match, I'm thinking he must have Feitorias, because that's just what I assume when I see Portuguese. Yours truly, again, Iron Kaiser in the blue. I'm going to go with a 20 vil pop-up, and I do know that that is quite late. I've really been, you know, sort of realizing the strength of the 14 vil age up with the Russians. So this is me being extremely greedy. And I even have over here, I put 200 wood down to get out a trading post because I want cards fast. Here's my deck. Same deck as in my last video, although this was an earlier game from that video. The focus for me is the Treaty of Mozhask, which sends 4 Royal Huntsman cards. These guys, I'm really looking at them as essentially like a 4 villager card, which Russia otherwise does not get access to. So this is an incredible boon to your Russian economy. You could also build a native embassy, and you can actually get out 3 more of these guys. So you can really bolster your economy with these guys. And then the Russian-American Company card, which sends 2 blockhouses and lets your villagers gather from hunt 20% faster. Pretty good stuff. What I do not expect, what I don't see coming, is this very aggressive second town center and a barracks setting up right beside my base. I am all in on, again, just this eco play, I'm thinking I'm safe. There is no world in which I'm expecting a rush from the Portuguese. And, you know, I've built, maybe this house is probably built too far out from my town center, so I can't really defend it. It's going down. Let me see. Okay, well, alright, at least the TC is able to fire upon that explorer. But already, I'm trying to, you know, garrison some vills into the town center. Now, this is maybe a really big situation where my noobness comes into play, and I go back and watch the replay, trying to learn from my mistakes. I should be thinking right now about Minutemen. I age up, by the way, this will be important. I age up with cords of wood, so I got a lot of wood that's available to me. I should be thinking about getting Minutemen out on the field right away. My market is about to go down. With the 1,000 food I have in the bank, I should be selling some of that in order to have the gold to afford Minutemen. But I don't. And now, I'm stuck. This is a very bad situation to be in. Fortunately, the Explorer for the Portuguese goes down. So you don't really have that tank anymore that you otherwise would have. Alright, I split off 4 vills to get on the gold. And now, I mean, my Explorer's out here just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I can get a vill in exchange, but with these villagers, I'm just trying to maybe distract his army a little bit. We'll see Russians pop in and out of the TC taking pot shots. I don't know that that's actually the most effective choice. But just trying to slow down this army some. And at this point, I'm thinking GG, you know. But maybe. Just maybe. I'm so thrown off my game that with the card that I just sent, I shipped 600 coins. Okay, so a bunch of resources sitting on the ground, not able to do anything. This is noobishness. Alright? But, gotta get my head screwed back on straight, and with the next card, I have 6 Poruchiks on the way. I remember in the moment I was so frazzled, I didn't even remember what a Poruchik was. I just knew it was military. It's like, just get something out on the field. I really don't have the best unit for fighting this off, so I'll just pick Poruchik. And I later realized it's actually not a bad choice, because those sort of spear halberdier-like units are great in a melee fight, which is what this could very easily turn into. The Russian town center goes down. I have 24 pop to my enemy's 36. Villagers are going to join the Poruchiks in fighting off the Portuguese. And believe it or not, between the Vills and the Poruchiks, the heroes of the hour, the Pointy Boys, actually get it done. And they push back this Portuguese assault. Now I'm thinking, you know, it's like, this is the unbelievable thing. So I've got all of this wood from the politician. I think I probably sent the 700 wood. So we've got a whole lot of wood in the bank. We've got some gold. And hey, I've got enough. I could throw down another town center. So we're going to claw our way back from about as nothing as it gets. Meanwhile, my opponent, he kind of went all in on this rush, and I think he was banking on it destroying me. Because now, you know, the resources, they're kind of thin. They're a little sparse. Ecotechs are coming in, so he's maybe pulling back and trying to supercharge his economy rather than press his advantage militarily. He does have out 5 musketeer. We got something. Meanwhile, I'm realizing, okay, you know, this is not going to be a game where I get to sit back for, you know, 30 minutes and boom. No, yeah, we need to start fighting. So 2 blockhouses on the way, using all of that extra wood. Really, my thought process here is just, I'm worried about getting raided again, and I need defenses. So 2 blockhouses right beside each other, kind of trying to cover this core area so that, you know, all of the fire between the blockhouses, the town centers, should keep me safe. In AoE3, finding those places where you can be safe is important. I think it's harder than in Age of Empires 2. In Age 2, it's a little easier to wall yourself off. Wall off little pockets of woodvilles or, you know, farmers or what have you. But in a 1v1 supremacy game in AoE3, that can be tough. More musketeers coming out for the Portuguese. Now, he is sort of exhausted in Age 2, his 2 army cards. So now, it's nothing but Ecotechs and the 700 coin card. Spice Trade on the way. Spice Trade we actually both have in our decks. Lets you gather faster from hunted animals and makes them last longer. A really good 1-2 punch. I'm putting out a combination of recruits, the Russian musketeer, heavy infantry, and strelets. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. Strelets, the light infantry for Russia. If you guys watched my last video, you know I was talking about dealing with some walking pneumonia. It's just been going across the eastern United States lately, and I'm still wrestling with the after effects of that crud. It is no fun. What is fun is actually pushing back that Portuguese assault. Musketeers getting countered by the strelets. Light infantry putting in some extra work. They're not really impressive as a single unit, but they've got mass. Boom. Portuguese army goes down. And in my mind, you know, again, I'm just mentally assuming the Portuguese player has Fetorias. So my thought process is I need to knock this down right away. I'm going to take out the barracks first because I don't want him spawning in more units. And then I will take out the outpost, try to shut down some of this fire. And at this point, the economy, it's still 19 bills versus Portuguese 32. So my opponent still has, you know, he's still got an advantage. But I move forward with the Cossacks on a hunch that maybe I could find something. And lo and behold, a whole bunch of hunters just caught out. This is why scouting is so important. You find these moments of opportunity, and I get to thin out the Portuguese economy a little bit. Boom, 4 vills down. That is 4 villagers down. And it's at this moment where I'm thinking, actually it's probably that raid, which felt so good. I'm gonna get some kills there too. Combined with the town center going down makes me feel like maybe, just maybe, I've got a shot at this. I know the scoreboard right now says I'm actually in the lead. And, I mean, obviously that doesn't hurt. But one thing I've played this game long enough to know that the scoreboard can be deceptive as all get out. You can't believe, like, see, look, even as I say it, he takes the scoreboard. Those numbers just jump up and down wildly over the course of the game. In fact, that might even be one of my complaints about Age of Empires 3, is I think even more than any other Age game, the score can just swing so wildly that it's a very bad tool for determining who's actually winning or losing a match. So again, now I'm back up 1,000 points over, so that just once again swung very wildly. I'm moving forward here, trying to see just how much damage I can do, you know, hoping maybe he doesn't have an army at all or whatever. Recruits move forward. And really, I forgot to mention this, but the Royal Arquebusier is the hero card that I sent out with that initial push. And I was talking about the Strelets doing good damage against the Musketeers, but really the Arquebusier doing a fantastic job as a mercenary skirmisher. I make a little bit of a misplay. I wanted my recruits to go into melee mode and fight off the cavalry, but instead I grabbed everybody and put them into melee mode, and I think I sacrificed some of those highly valuable Arquebusier that otherwise could have, you know, maybe stuck around and done a little bit of damage to my musketeer-loving opponent. He seems to have a decent grasp on the scoreboard at the moment with a 600-point lead. But I've knocked down his town center. Feeling pretty good about that. And I've got a trading post. This whole time I've been picking up XP. So I've been able to ship a whole lot more cards than my opponent has. I have shipped. At this point, you know, in the back of my mind, I've pushed off this assault. And I decide, you know, I need to kind of get that economy back up and running. So I have shipped the Treaty of Mozasi. I've got down the native embassy, or the royal embassy. And I have, let's see if I can find him. Yeah, I'm pumping out more of these guys to try to supplement my economy. That, and I'm grabbing some random treasures. A native warrior. Who do we have here? A Cherokee rifleman? Why not? That would be great. We're dealing with a musketeer army. Age 3 on the way for Russia with the adventurer. I believe Strelets is what the adventurer sends us. 7th Street, shipping the gunpowder infantry attack card, giving his musketeers more damage. That's the last thing I need. And the marksman, sending some skirmishers of his own on the way. But you know what? I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because at this moment, I have taken the eco lead. I've got 35 bills to the Portuguese 30. Definitely knocking out that town center did not hurt. Okay, so here we go. At this point, my opponent, he's got just shy of 70 pop. I think that's about to... He's about to get popped there. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on 76 population, so I actually have the higher pop count, getting some eco cards. This is a breather moment. I've got a couple of recruits, a few Cossacks, but mostly Strelets. What I should be doing, what should be in the back of my mind, is as soon as I hit age 3, the counter-infantry rifling upgrade for the skirmishers would be so good. This would be a really good pickup. One thing I wish, like I'm looking at here, my opponent, he has a very vulnerable economy right here. You know, a lot of hunters, a lot of you know, lumberjacks. Sure, he's got the army right here. But I wonder, you know, some well-timed raids, some back-and-forth raiding could really disrupt what we're seeing right here from Portugal. All right, we're both in age 3 at the moment. And I've got the arsenal. Now, I don't think I've picked up. In fact, I know that I've not picked up counter-infantry rifling yet. When we do, that 2x bonus against heavy infantry will become 3x bonus. Amazing against an opponent going all in on musketeers. What's going to spur me to move out, if we look at my field of view, it just so happens he builds the town center just in such a way that my trading post sees it. And therefore I see it, and I decide I want to try to get over there and blow that thing up before it even finishes building. And in doing so, I actually don't even notice initially. There's a giant red army in the way. Okay, maybe we should do something about that. My Strellet heavy army does not like Hussars. It takes a long time to deal with him. At this point, we have 28 Strelets versus 26 Musketeers. And it is true that, you know, I've got the light infantry versus Red's heavy infantry, so I've got the right counter, but especially before counter infantry rifling comes in, it's a matter of quantity, not quality, and if you take an even numbered fight. Speaking of that, but that poor Cherokee rifleman, we dealt with his guards just to leave him tied up. You sit there and think about the meaning of life for a little bit, okay? All right. Meanwhile, Portugal moving in, wants to try to do some damage to my base. It's been a while since 7th Street has been over here, and he wants to relive the glory days of knocking down Russian town centers. He's going to start with the blockhouse. As it so happens, I get out Strelets, and the Russian-American company comes just in time. This is one of the reasons why I love this card, because it is a combo of an eco-tech, an eco card, and also a military card or a defensive card. I decided to get a 3rd barracks up defensively, keep the town center going, and I'll send one of the blockhouses forward to try to lay claim to this trading post site. Just make sure that Portugal stays off of it. Now at this point, I am taking seriously. Like I got the memo, okay, guys? He's going heavy into Musketeers. So for me, that means a lot of light infantry, and I'm going to try to couple that with maybe some Ruskets, maybe also some of these brand new Poruchiks that you know, have recently been buffed with the most recent patch. They cost more food but less coin. And for a Russian economy, especially a Russian economy with Treaty of Mozhaska and the Russian-American company and everything else, it's just so much easier to collect food than coin. So it's easier, therefore, to mass up Poruchiks. We have 71 Strelets to his 6 Castador, 18 Musketeers, 4 Hussar. He is on the way to age 4. Wow. Meanwhile, I have Poruchiks on the way. How fortuitous that he sends off his Hussar just in time. And in fact, heads over to where I've got a couple of Poruchiks. I guess on stand ground, that's a mistake. Either way, though, I'm very happy to take this fight. And the Poruchiks are showing up just in time to deal with any Cossacks that might arrive later on. They're gonna get stuck into that melee fight, which is great. And these guys, you know, as an Age of Empires 2 player, I always would have to remind myself of the incredible siege potential that Spearmen and Pikemen have in AoE3. They're just a great unit to add, excuse me, into your infantry composition. These guys are just out in the open, just very easy siege. And this is going to be the 2nd Portuguese town center under siege. I wish I had some Cossacks, but I don't. Instead, I've got Strelets who are tickling the HP of the red settlers as they escape. Still, at least I know they're on their way. This town center can't fire with any villagers not garrisoning, so it's kind of a freebie. TC will go down. Come on. Don't tell me she gets away. They're getting away. But, and these guys die, right? We got the Cossacks, and I see the organ guns. It's never fun to lose units, but this does sort of give me an awareness that he has organ guns, and I know not to just sort of blindly fire my guys off and get blown up by organ guns, right? So I've got the Falconets. I've shipped them. I feel like for any European civ, if you have the 2 Falconets card, you want that in your deck. I mean, that might be the most powerful card in the game for its era, right? It's up there. I mean, being able to get out that artillery for free is huge. But in the background, then I've built 2 stables, and I'm deciding to build a cav force different things like the raiding. I think maybe early on it was the Strelets. The Strelets dealing with the settlers and thinking, boy, I wish I had some cav. That kind of inspired that thought. But then on top of it, realizing, you know, I've got to deal with the artillery. It would be useful if I had a decent-sized blob of Cossacks, right? So, massing up cavalry. Got 31 Poruchiks and 48 Strelets. I don't think I've got any Ruskets in with this group. I do have my church up. One of the cards that I love to send is the Reformist Czar card. I think Westernization is an awesome tech. Age 3, 400 wood, 400 coin. Basically upgrades all of your infantry and cavalry units. Well, I say for free. For that one cost of 400 wood and 400 coin. If you find yourself in a situation where you're massing up different types of units. I've got Cossacks over here. I've shipped in some Oprichnik. Right, which I think I end up forgetting about them, leaving them in the town center. Again, I'm a noob. Low elo legend right here. Just these guys are going to chill at home. But I do have the 16 Cossacks up and running. Kind of inch them forward to see if maybe there's some builds here I can capture. Take out? Nope. It's time to collapse in. I've got 170 pop to my enemy's 109. And he's picking up the Guard Hussar technology. So, quality-wise, there is no doubt who has the better army here. It is 7th Street. He's got the techs. I still am on my kind of my Age 2 basic bog standard version. But I've got the numbers. And I have so many different types of units that I can counter just about everything he's got on the field. Poruchiks jump on those organ guns and take them out. We've got a big melee fight here, providing a great screen for my light infantry, who now have counter-infantry rifling. Falconets putting in the work. Red's army's absolutely collapsing. He's down below 60 pop to my 136, and he calls it, and we come back from losing our town center in Age 2. What a game. I gotta tell you, when I finished this match, it's like, what on earth? What a wild back and forth battle. And that only happened because, you know, I mean, I think both 7th Street and myself made some pretty basic mistakes. I made some mistakes early on by greeding, focusing too much on economy, not getting the coin to send out Minutemen earlier. I got them out at the last second while the town center was going down. But, you know, kind of making some greedy mistakes early on. But meanwhile, my opponent, looking at the deck, I honestly think, you know, maybe if he had some opportunities for more military cards, and if he prioritizes those military cards more, and maybe these eco-tech cards less, then I think he might have had the game, or certainly would have a better Portuguese play. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That is the story of my wild, crazy, silly Age of Empires 3 match. One of the wildest games I've ever played. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know that you want to see more Age of Empires 3. I know the AoE3 fan base loves this game, that they are rabidly enthusiastic about AoE3. And I would love to showcase more AoE3 gameplay. So I want you guys to let me know that you want to see more AoE3. Share the video. Talk to me about AoE3 in the comments below. Share with me the story of the craziest, silliest AoE3 game you've ever played in the comments. For now, this is yours truly, the Iron Kaiser, signing off. Have a great day out there, guys.